So here we go, Web 225, your favorite part of maybe the entire first week of classes, and that is the syllabus overview. Believe me, I like it just as much as you do. So I'm just going to hit the high notes. I'm going to encourage you to go through and read the rest of the actual document here. I know that for some of you, it is an invisible piece of, in this case, it's a PDF that melts into the background and you never think of again. And I know that for some of you, it is like a guiding document that you use to help you navigate the course. So I'm going to treat it like the latter so that everybody gets the same value out of this. A couple of things to note here on the first page. The easiest ways to get a hold of me, especially since this is a summer course, and please, I'm going to say this a couple of times, if you have questions, reach out immediately. I would much rather help address a question you have in its infancy than wait until it is thermonuclear and there is no way to stop the panic, or there is no way to regain the momentum that you had doing the work previous. So I am going to encourage you. You can use the email address there, e.wolf. That is going to go to my Outlook account. You can use messages in Eagle. That is going to push to Gmail and notify me on all of my devices. You can see there are two more behind me right over there. And it goes to all of my devices. The number you see behind you there that I shall not read, that really truly is my cell phone number, and it will text me. You can feel free to use any and all of those. My request to you, or my requests to you, are as follows. Number one, if you are going to text me out of nowhere, please let me know who you are. You would be surprised at the how quickly these get published to the internet. And then I get all these text messages from the lunatic fringe. So I understand you're probably not a student if you want me to buy properties or, meme coins or listen to you about Web3. I get it. That ain't you all. But when you're like, hey, what's the homework due tomorrow? That's a fine question. At any time, I teach like 5 different courses. So you are one of 100 students who have homework due tomorrow, and I don't know what it is. So do me a favor and say, hi, this is Eric from 225. That goes a long way towards letting me answer your questions in as quickly and as directly a manner as possible. So you can feel free to even text message me, and I do not dissuade you from doing that unless you are going to text me after, let's say, a hard ceiling of 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., I am tucking in the little guy. His bedroom is actually right here. And I don't want to wake him up. I get the evil death, die eyes if the phone does ping after 8 o'clock. And as an old man, I go to bed early. Many of you who have had me in the classroom know I get up before 5 o'clock to go for a walk and do things for myself before the vampire family wakes up and causes me to have to go to work. So I get up early, which means I go to bed early. So when you call and text me after 8 p.m., when you text me after 8 p.m. or call me and say, what's the homework due tomorrow? I will come back and use disproportionate and immediate academic backlash against you. That's not necessarily true, but it's maybe not true. So you can absolutely use any and all means of communication to get a hold of me, pretty typically, unless, like I said, unless it's after 8 p.m. or unless something totally crazy is happening. If I haven't answered you in a couple of hours, it means that I missed it, and just send me another one. What I want to be is as reflexive as possible to your requests, to your questions. So use any and all of these to get a hold of me. We do have 2 textbooks for the course. There we go. You can see them behind me here, a short course in photography. This is available as either hardcover or digital, at least for the time being. That is not, I got the feeling that that's not always going to be the case. I think that our bookstore much rather would prefer to only stock digital copies of things because they don't have to pay for any of that. So for the time being, it is available both. Um, if that's your preference, use whatever you would like, but please get a hold of it quickly, because there will be, and we will talk about it later, a midterm and a final. Next is the Digital Photography Complete course. There are no authors listed there. I do not know who wrote the text. The 13 and the 10 digit ISBN are listed there. We will also use that. The DPCC, that's what we refer to, the second textbook there, has a wealth of literal examples for you to follow along with and use those examples to recreate at least portions of your 100 photos for each week. The short course in photography does a wonderful job of going back and giving you a historical perspective rather on the ways that photography has changed, but also in the ways that fundamentally photography has always been exactly the same. So both of those we will use throughout the entirety of the course, and you will require both of those ASAP. And I do encourage you to shop around. If you haven't already picked up the textbook, you are seeing this midweek, please, I'm going to encourage you through messages to not just wait until midweek. But if you are seeing this and you think that you can get a physical copy of the short course in photography sent to you, don't give me that BS where you put it on the back of a donkey that can't see and you send it from like California over here to Illinois. Don't do that. Make sure you pay to get it to you ASAP because we are going to use those ASAP. Next, I would absolutely positively recommend you a flash drive, but also we are going to use OneDrive because we all of us have access to OneDrive. So you really should be backing up your material to a secondary flash drive. I will have a story for you from just last week where my Dell, where I had a whole bunch of these videos saved to, crashed and took its entire drive with it. So I really do encourage you to have physical backups, but I won't require that because all of us have a bad story about a flash drive dying. These are our course objectives. CO1, that's course objective 1 through CO8. I didn't realize that I had a repeat down there. These are the course objectives. I, again, encourage you to read through these, but I won't cover them here verbally. Here is what I think you are probably the most concerned with, and that is the course assessments, and that means homework. They are as follows. There are assignments which are broken down into reading assignments, so the things that you will read out of the SCP and the DCPP textbooks. Those account for 20% of your overall grade. There is a midterm and a final, where I want you to really dig down into the vocabulary of things. It's one of the things I know that communicates the loudest when you are talking to other photographers is your use of the lingo. So the midterm and the final are definitional in nature, and each one of them is 10% of your overall grade. And finally, there are pages, there are other discussion forums, there are coding, which is the actual use of, we will use Spark pages for our online portfolio. And then there is the session portfolios, so the 100 photos you take every week. That is all portion of that 60%. So when you go through and see the assignments in Eagle, you can see what portion they're dedicated to, and that gives you an idea of the weight of each individual assignment. We use the standard grading curve. I'm not sure if anybody doesn't use the standard grading curve. The final exam is, technically speaking, on June 11. I will give you until the 13th to take it. And everything will be due before the 13th. Although technically the last day of class is the 11th. I just want to give you guys as much time as possible before I hand in those grades. The last day to withdraw with a W, so it is unscored, but you still do not get a refund, is Thursday, 5th June. Any of your Summer Session 1 courses are that as well. Please read through the course procedures and expectations. All work must be your own. Please don't use other people's photos for this. The whole idea is to build your own personal toolkit of, you know, good applicable strategies for taking photos. You shortcutting that essentially destroys your ability to do so. It, number two, means that you are lying to your classmates about the images that you are presenting as your own, and it diminishes the quality of photographer. It diminishes, frankly, the quality of individual that you are, and I strongly encourage you not to do that. The same with generative AI. I know, and I have been saying this for as long as I have been a college instructor, is that for some students, the whole goal of school is to do as little as possible to get as satisfactory a grade as possible so that you can get a job. Okay, maybe. I argue that the whole purpose of school, so literally the reason we have Rock Valley College, literally the reason it is that I am here talking to you from my dungeon office, is because there's value in all learning. The things that you get out of even a digital photography course, and I use even a digital photography course to say that there are potentially other courses that speak more directly to your major. There may be. There may be other courses that speak more directly to the the industry and the career that you one day expect or hope to be part of. But what I am saying is all of these experiences build on each other. The things that you learn here, either directly through interactions with the material, directly through interactions with things like this video, directly through interactions with your cohort, so the rest of the students in this class. Those all build towards a schema that you will use to be a better employee, to take better photos, to appreciate art more. And I don't think that the reason you go to school is to be a better employee. Who cares? I mean, I want you to get paid well. That is absolutely true. I want you to be happy at the place it is that you work. That is absolutely true. But do I think that the best utility you get out of college is making somebody else more wealthy on your time? No, I want you to grow as individuals. So using AI essentially teaches your brain, I never have to think for myself, which is poisonous. It leaks into other areas in your life. It dilutes your ability to be creative. It dilutes, in the case of this course, your ability to be a better photographer. It dilutes your ability to be creative. And that is damaging and destructive. So I am asking you to not use generative AI. I am asking you, outside of just this course, to think about not using generative AI. I will tell you that I do not. I think it is a fine shortcut for some people, but can I, can I respond to an email without generative AI? Yeah, I've been responding to emails for 20 plus years. I know how to write one, generally speaking. Can I use AI to, in some cases make the volume sound better on my microphone? Yeah, maybe, but that's machine learning. It's different than the completely generative AI stuff. So again, I know I've spent a lot of time on this, but do consider not only not using it here, but not using it moving forward. It is ruinous for your own ability to grow your understanding and to learn moving forward. Number two is that I want to highlight here, you can submit all homework in advance. Let me go down there. You will see after the middle of the first week, everything will be published out to the end of the course. I wait a little while just to get everybody moving so that I can poke and prod you through the first 4.5 days that the course is published, and then I put all the rest of it out there. So you can submit work in advance, and that piggytails off of I'm absolutely positively willing to take work late, but at a 50% penalty. If it comes to a Monday night, everything is due Monday night, and you know you're not going to finish it, and it is 7 p.m., and you're like, hey, I'm not going to finish tonight. You're correct. You're not going to finish tonight. If you know earlier in the week, and be realistic and honest with yourself, and if you know earlier in the week that you're going to be behind, shoot me a message, and I am more than willing to work with you on alternative due dates for your material. That's fine. Things happen. These courses are short. Time moves fast. You have responsibilities. Yeah, let's work with that. But when it comes to I haven't done anything this week and I kind of like don't want to have any consequences. Yep, here's consequences, 50% penalty. You have a one-time 24-hour grace period on an assignment of your choice. That does not mean a week's worth of material. It means one assignment, because I do believe that every now and again you go, uh-oh, and you're in deep, deep trouble for something. So let's make sure that we can at least get you a little bit of wiggle room out of that nasty, nasty situation. Attendance is required, and by attendance for this course, since it is online asynchronous, we consider attendance to be signing into the course, participating in discussions, and posting homework. If you are late and have not reached out about that, and an assignment due date has come and gone, that does count, as far as I'm concerned, as an absence. 2 of those, and I will drop you from the class because there are only 4 total for the course, and that means you've already missed half of our time, and that's not okay. I will allow you to scroll through, and I know it's got a strange break here. That's not necessarily my fault. It's the fault of the document you see here. You can scroll through for a very, very detailed listing of everything we're going to do each week. On the left-hand side, you can see the topics that we will cover. On the right-hand side, you can see the assignments that are associated with it. I just want to bring your attention to 2 things. In session 2, that would be the midterm. In session 4, that would be the final. So these are things to worry about there. The very last thing I would like for you to draw your attention to is, and again, please do, if you would find the time to read things through, like the course objectives and the alignments, because I think that maybe there's value in that for you. But this is more for transferability. And certain circumstances may require / change this. You will see in a video that I'm going to release midweek. What I would like to do is try to extend an opportunity for students to come to campus and use more of the hardware. So things like studio lighting, things like studio microphones, things like studio quality equipment in the way of gimbals and tripods and backdrops, seamless paper, things like that, things that we're going to go through. We will actually have an opportunity to have you use some of our Mac equipment so you can see a calibrated monitor, so that you can see Adobe Creative Cloud software, things like that. But these are things that I do not want to have expressed on you in the way of additional costs. So we may choose to meet on campus on some occasions. That, I feel, is a good place to mention the disclaimer here. Please, 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 if you have any questions on anything we covered here in the video, or if you have any questions on things that you have seen reading the syllabus, just reach out and let me know. Again, I am more than happy to answer a question with you, than wait for you to feel uncertain, for it to stymie your progress, and for it to, scale back the sense of success you have with the class. So there it is, Web 225, an exhaustive walkthrough of the syllabus.